What is going on? Alex here with another video, and today I'm going to talk about how you can purchase an aircraft. If you're new to my channel and you like aviation related content and topics like flying, aircraft maintenance, and business aviation, please subscribe, drop a like, and without any further ado, let's get right into it. Before you start looking for an airplane, you have to figure out what you're going to use the aircraft for. If you're going to be using it for flight training, maybe a Cessna 172 or a Cherokee 180 will be suitable. Now, if you want to use it for business, maybe something like an SR-22 or a Cirrus jet may be the best option. If you're trying to travel and take your friends and family, definitely a Saratoga or a Cherokee 6 will be the best option. Some websites that I recommend are going to be Trade-A-Plane, Controller, Barnstormers, and also this new site called WingSwap. So once you actually start the search, some of the stuff that I recommend that you look for is going to be total time and engine time. The reason why total time is so important is because if you're trying to finance the aircraft, and don't quote me on this, but I believe any time that the aircraft has more than 7,000 hours is going to be very hard to get financing. The reason why you also want to look for the engine time is because the manufacturer of the different engines recommend that you overhaul it at a certain time. For example, if you're going to buy an aircraft that has a Lycoming 0320, well, Lycoming recommends you overhaul that engine every 2,000 hours. If the aircraft that you're looking for is very close to that TBO, well, that's going to be like about $35,000 to get it overhauled. Once you find the airplane that you like, well, it's time to contact the seller and set up a time to go and see it. Now, before you go, I recommend that you do some homework. So for example, get yourself a BREF appraisal, which is just an estimation of what the current market price for that aircraft is. It's not 100% accurate, but it gives you an idea of what the aircraft is going for. If you're a member of the AOPA, well, this is free. So you can just give them a call, tell them that you want a BREF appraisal. They're going to ask you what the total time is, the engine time, what avionics upgrade it has. They're going to ask you about the paint, the interior, and different questions, and they're going to give you a wholesale and a retail price for the aircraft. Talk to your AMP. Ask him about the airplane. Maybe he knows different issues or different areas that you should be concerned about. If you are financing, well, you can talk to a lender. For example, the AOPA, they provide financing, so call them up and see what the rates are and what the estimated payment is going to be. Also, this is a good time to ask yourself whether you want to purchase the aircraft under your name or you want to set up an LLC. I'm not a CPA or a lawyer, so make sure that you talk to your CPA and you get proper advice. Once you go see the airplane and everything looks good and the seller accepts your offer, well, it's time to type an aircraft purchase agreement. There's actually a couple templates that you can find in the internet, but you don't have to make it complicated. I mean, you just have to include the day of the agreement, the seller's full legal name as shown in the registration. You can also go in the FAA website, put the N number, and it will show you under what name the aircraft is registered in. Your name, your full legal name, or LLC, depending what you choose to do. The aircraft make, model, serial number, and N number must be in there, the price that you guys agreed, and also the terms of the sale with the different contingencies, like if you're going to, get financing or it's contingent on the pre-purchase inspection. Some sellers want to see a deposit, so you can determine what the deposit is going to be. Usually it's around 10% of the full price of the aircraft. Once you have this agreement, well, you can call an escrow account, and the escrow that I recommend is AIC Title, and you're going to talk to one of the representatives there and you're going to set up an escrow account. So if you don't know what an escrow company is, well, it's a neutral third party that holds the funds and the required documents before closing. So that way you prevent being scammed, right? So you're not, sending money to someone and then they just leave with the airplane. So you don't really need to open up an escrow account if you're not financing, but I highly recommend you do so. Obviously, it's not free. It's going to cost you $500, but usually that is split between the buyer and the seller. So for $250, you just bought some peace of mind. Now that you have the escrow open, you already send them the purchase agreement and all the required documents, it's time to call your AMP. Again, not required, but I highly recommend that you do a thorough pre-purchase inspection. Before you hire an AMP to do your So before you hire an A&P to do your pre-purchase inspection, make sure that they know the airplane, okay? You don't wanna just hire some random A&P and have them go do it. If everything looks good and the seller agrees to whatever you tell them, well, it's time to call the escrow, fully fund the escrow, and proceed to the closing. The escrow company will take care of getting the seller's bank information. They're going to take care of all the documents. They're going to fill out the bill of sale for you, the registration form, and they will send all that to the FAA. Now, if you don't want to use an escrow company, well, you can still proceed to the sale. But before you do anything else, make sure that you do a title search. That way you make sure that there's no liens on the aircraft. That will usually take about 3 days. Once the title search comes clean, you can proceed to the next step, which is going to be to give the money to the seller. So you're gonna have to figure out how he wants his money, whether it's via wire transfer, cash, or cashier's check. Apart from filling out and signing the bill of sale, you're also going to have to fill out and sign the registration application, write a little check for $5 for the FAA, and send it to Oklahoma. And eventually you will receive the final registration in the mail. So this is it. This is the process of purchasing an airplane. Not too complicated, but sometimes it's nice to have someone to give you a little rundown of what the process looks like. If you like the video, I would really appreciate a like, and I will see you guys in the next one.